No limits to the war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin announces Russia's plans for more military personnel and more modern weapons. Volodymyr Zelensky arrives in Poland on his way to the US for his first international visits since the Russian invasion began in February. More military preparedness, more modern weapons, and no limitations whatsoever on the budget for the war in Ukraine. These were the plans outlined by Russian President Vladimir Putin as his army carries out military maneuvers in Belarus and his fleet begins naval maneuvers with China. And soon, Moscow's fleet will have a new powerful missile at its disposal.
Beginning in January, the Admiral Gorshkov frigate will be equipped with the new Zircon hypersonic missile, which, I repeat, has no equivalent in the world.
Putin has also announced that he will develop naval bases to support his fleet in Mariupol and Berdansk, two Ukrainian cities occupied by the Russian army. But he also spoke about increasing gas production, crucial to the economy.
A new gas production centre at Irkutsk will appear on the map of the country. We're launching the unique Kovitka gas condensate field, the largest in eastern Siberia. Its recoverable reserves are 1.8 trillion cubic meters of gas.
Putin added that an 800 kilometers long pipeline has been built to deliver natural gas from the field to China, a crucial revenue stream for the Kremlin, which is seeking new buyers following the West's gradual weaning off of Russian gas. Poland has been the first and perhaps only stop on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's surprise visit to the United States. The president arrived by train in the town of Przemysl and will fly on to Washington in a historic trip. It's the first time that the Ukrainian president has left the country since the Russian invasion began on February the 24th. The trip comes at a key moment in the war, with the United States set to announce that it will give the sophisticated Patriot air defense system to Ukraine, along with around 1.8 billion euros in aid. Zelensky has addressed numerous presidents and parliaments around the world, but always by video conference, due to the constraints of being at war. On Wednesday, he is likely to meet with US President Joe Biden and will deliver a speech to the US Congress.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has set his military aims for 2023 in a meeting on Wednesday. With 15,000 military officials attending by video conference, Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu has called for his country's military to be expanded. Now, the Institute for the Study of War has previously observed that the Kremlin has been setting information conditions for a protraction of the war in Ukraine since the summer, following Russian forces' dismal failures to secure and retain their primary objectives. Russian President Vladimir Putin's objectives in Ukraine have not changed, according to Ukrainian officials and the Institute for the Study of War's assessment based on Kremlin statements and actions. The think tank says Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky's frontline visit to Bakhmut on the day that marked 300 days of war is undermining an ongoing Kremlin information operation intended to present Russian President Vladimir Putin as an involved war leader. Now, Bakhmut has been the prime target of the Russian assault for months now. The pace of Russian advances in the Bakhmut area has not increased in previous weeks. The Institute for the Study of War assesses that Russian troops have gained a total of 192 square kilometers in the Bakhmut area between the 1st of October and the 20th of December. The UK Defence Ministry adds that intense combat has occurred in the Bakhmut sector since June, but the front lines have primarily been in open country around the eastern approaches to the town. So the Institute for the Study of War adds that Russian sources will likely continue to try to falsely assert that Russian forces are taking a notable amount of territory in the Bakhmut area.
Ambulance workers in the UK went on strike on Wednesday, widening a dispute with the government over its refusal to increase pay above inflation. The walkout by National Health Service staff prompted healthcare leaders to issue warnings against straining a health system already in crisis. It comes as thousands of nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland took to picket lines on Tuesday, just 5 days after their first strike in its 106-year history. Industrial action is paralysing Britain in the run-up to Christmas, with railway workers and passport control officers also threatening to strike over the festive period. Trade unions have threatened further action in the new year if the government keeps refusing to discuss pay.
Gripped by an energy crisis, Europe is in power-saving mode. In several countries, measures are being taken to reduce consumption, such as here in Belgium, where this man is part of an experiment to see if people can live without central heating. Heat the body, not the room, is the motto.
There are issues of habit that are both psychological and mental, I think. And that means that we can put up with things that we never thought we could before. But you have to go gradually, each at his own pace. There's no universal recipe.
Elsewhere, the methods are more conventional. In this town in central France, local officials are handing out duvets to people who've had to lower their heating because of soaring energy prices.
Unfortunately, I'm retired and I don't have much money. A duvet helps me out, especially at night, because it's cold in the morning.
In Finland, an ice rink shrouded in darkness tells another story of energy-saving action. This ice hockey team in the city of Oulu, just south of the Arctic Circle, has been forced to practice on an outdoor public ground. Across Europe, people are adapting to the energy crisis. How well they've coped will only be known when winter ends.
The month of gift giving is here, but this time around, spreading joy comes at a heavy price. That's certainly the case here in Romania, where prices in the shops have increased by as much as fourfold. And this Christmas, many here are faced with the prospect of ditching their favourite festive foods to cut costs.
Of course you can feel it. I'm not good with percentages, but I know things got more expensive and I feel it. I'm not giving up anything in particular, but I'm definitely reducing quantities.
People probably save up during the year, and now they're using up their savings a bit more to have something to put on the Christmas table.
I'm going to give up on the traditional cold cuts. My budget is around €31.
And the situation isn't much brighter for the merchants. They say that in some cases they're not able to break even.
To make a profit, the price should be €1 per kilo. But if they don't sell, we sell them below the price.
We're making a loss on cabbages. Since the 1st of August, we watered them 4 times a month. With gas prices so high, you realize you're making a loss.
In Romania, the price of staple goods has shot up the most. And now economists warn that when inflation begins to level off, prices might not go down.
In the coming months, the inflation index will be lower. But even if the prices will rise less, it doesn't mean the prices will decrease.
The National Bank of Romania has forecast a 5% decrease in inflation next year, but warns it won't fall below 10% until at least 2024.
Gingerbread City is ready to welcome visitors. London's Museum of Architecture has opened its gingerbread and sweets made exhibition, which is entirely baked and constructed by architects. It features 5 cities in 5 different time zones from polar to tropical.
The reason why we do Gingerbread City is to get the public really engaged and excited about architecture. It's really the introduction to what architects can do and the creativity they can bring to our cities and communities.
Some parts of these cities can sometimes suffer from the visitors' appetite.
There are a few little pieces that do go missing along the way. So yes, we do have to come back in with some icing and sort of do minor repairs.
Marshmallow mines, beaches and climate refugees. This year's exhibition focuses on climate change